Welcome to the 2021 shop tour. So as you can see here, this is my shop. It is a 22 foot by 22 foot 2-car garage. I've got most everything hanging on the wall. I try not to have a lot of drawers. So at the door, PPE, all of this stuff, I put it right at the door to remind me when I come into the shop to be safe. So after we get past the PPE, we've got obviously tool chest. The only thing that's really in this tool chest is things like pliers, sockets, Allen wrenches, stuff like that. There's some extra PPE. I keep boxes of sandpaper in here. This is kind of just like mass kind of overflow storage and more like mechanics tools. Then we shift down to the wall into tools for breaking down like sheet goods. I really only ever use my circular saw if I'm breaking down large sheets of plywood before I run them through my table saw. Then we move over to kind of like layout tools. We've got measuring tools, we've got levels. I keep all of that right here. So right after that section of the wall, we move over to mostly just hand tool stuff. We've got hammers, got my hand planes, chisels, handsaw, we've got a file. All of that kind of lies right here, centralized in the wall for quick access. But then we mosey on from hand tools over to kind of joinery-ish tools. This is where I've got my routers. I've got the Ryobi biscuit joiner. So you have the Ryobi fixed base router. I specifically bought this skill router only for the plunge. It does have the fixed base, but I'm probably never going to take it out of the plunge base, specifically just for doing more mortise and tenery joints. Also for routing things to a specific depth. That's just going to do a much better job for me than the fixed base router will. And in this corner is where I keep all my finishing supplies. So we've got all the stains that I could possibly want. I've got sanders, I've got stain samples, I've got little sanding pads, I've got my Graco sprayer. All of my finishing stuff is gonna lie right here in this corner. Then we've got clamps. I keep all of my clamps right here. This is my clamp wall. I do not like these horizontal Shop Fox clamp racks. Got those off Amazon in like a 3-pack. They're a great deal if you want to store your clamps horizontal. They work awesome. These are specifically just for F-style clamps. Horizontal storage just takes up too much space for me. This garage is a shared space, so it's not just a workshop. If it was only my workshop, I would expand these walls a little farther, and I probably would use these because they're awesome. As you can see above me is lumber storage. It's not a whole lot of lumber storage. Main reason being I try not to keep a lot of places for me to store lumber, mainly because I don't want to hoard lumber. I don't have a lot of space, so there's not really room for me to just be hoarding lumber. And I know as a woodworker, it's really hard. I try anything less than 12 inches. It's scrap. I get rid of it. I don't keep it. I try to be very specific about the scraps that I keep. A lot of it just goes in the trash. Got this lumber rack off Amazon, super cheap, works great. And right here we've got fastening and fasteners. Keep all of my hardware in these little bins. This is going to be redone soon. I do not like the way this is working out. I like the bins, but I'm going to expand on this and get it hung on the French cleats a little bit better. As you can see, I pretty much only use spack screws. I hate Phillips head screws. Hate them with a passion. Too easy to strip Phillips head screws, so I really like these spack screws. I have not stripped a single one of these. Drill charging station. And then kind of to round the shop off, this is Ryobi 10-inch sliding compound miter saw. I do like this saw a lot. I have added this is just toolbox drawer liner that I've cut a little scrap piece of, and I've screwed it on each side to the dust collector. But what this does is it allows a lot of the dust to actually hit this, and then it shoots it up into the dust collection hose a lot better than if it wasn't there. So I actually collect a lot more dust on this thing this way, and it was basically a free mod. Then we've got the planer. It's just a Porter cable planer, rolls around on a cart. Great planer, can't really beat it. Most of the time you can find them pretty inexpensive, sitting around Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, things like that. The only thing you're not seeing right now in this picture though is my table saw. Table saw is normally sitting right here where this desk is, but the table saw is on the other side of the shop because I needed to have somewhere to store this desk when I'm not working on it. And here right now we'll show you how I set my shop up. Alright, so we're gonna do this handheld so that I can show you how this gets set up. So in the middle of my garage we've got table saw. It's the Delta 36725 table saw. I absolutely love this saw. The dust collection's not that great. Fence is great, saw's great, dust collection's not that great. Then I've got my workbench. My workbench I built to double as an outfeed table, so it's the perfect height for me to have outfeed surface. Right now there's a bunch of stuff sitting on it. All of that is stuff that I'm going to be adding to the cleat wall, hopefully today. Right over here, I've also got my miter saw. These wings do fold in and out. I do have T-track installed. Only installed it on one side because I just don't feel like I've ever needed to have it over here on this side. The main reason I set the shop up this way is I have a cord reel, and I can bring this cord reel straight down because I don't have enough electrical outlets in this garage. That's something else I'm gonna have to change this year. But I can bring this straight down. My miter saw and the table saw will both plug into that. Underneath the workbench is where I keep my shop vac. So I can take the dust collection off of the table saw and put it in the miter saw, and vice versa whenever I'm making cuts. That way if I'm flipping back and forth between the tools, it's really easy. It's all, I can just unplug it from one end and plug it into the other. I know I could probably get some like Y elbows and have a dust port on each one, but I don't feel like doing that. This works just great, and it really doesn't cut in on time too much, just unplugging a hose and plugging a hose in. That being said, I do have this adapter on the back of the miter saw, so that way it'll take the 2.5 inch hose. That way I don't have to use two different hoses. Probably the next thing that we just kind of glazed on right by when we were taking a look at the wall is the XCAR. The XCAR is new this year. I bought this back in November 2020 is when it got ordered, so it probably showed up in the middle of December. December I did take a break, something, it was kind of unintentional, but it's something I've not done. I started doing woodworking back in 2017, I believe, and most of the time I would work just ridiculous hours. I would work late into the night. I would work all months of the year, but this was the first year that I didn't work in retail. I've worked in retail for the past 10 years. And if you know anything about retail, December is not a month where you get a break. So I took December off last year in 2020. And it was awesome to spend time with my family. Something I have not done in a really, really long time. But we've got the XCAR. I've been fiddling with it. I've been learning the ins and outs of it. I've been learning the ins and outs of the software. I'm gonna start utilizing this in this channel more often. We're gonna see some cool CNC stuff this year. I've got some plans for it, a few projects that I plan on putting up on the channel, knocking out. So hopefully we'll get some good use out of this year, because I'm pretty excited about this and what I can do with it. Well guys, that pretty much concludes this shop tour. It's not a very big shop. It's a shop that works for me. It's a shop that works for what I do. I do plan on a lot of big upgrades this year. Plan on doing some dust collection upgrades, probably some electrical upgrades, because I've already run into some issues with the current electrical setup in this garage where I was trying to run the XCAR and the dust collector at the same time, which is just the shop vac, but the shop vac and the XCAR at the same time, and run them both for almost an hour, tripped a breaker. The carve that it was carving was like a 2-hour carve. I got an hour in, tripped a breaker, had to start all over. So I've been intermittently using the shop vac by hand, and that's not really what I want to do. That's why I have this boom arm. I want dedicated dust collection for this, so this thing can just be sitting over in the corner running while I'm doing some other stuff in the shop. So electrical upgrades. We're also going to extend the French cleat wall. French cleat wall I do want to wrap around the entire garage. I want to do French cleat storage for garden tools, things like that. I've still got some stuff in drawers that I want taken out. Plan on doing some air filtration, probably an upgraded dust collector. Just got some stuff that I want to upgrade, some things I want to add to the shop this year. And we're going to bring you guys along for the ride. So if this is something that you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments what kind of projects you want to see. I'll try to make some videos on some things. I have some home renovation projects that I want to get to. I know for sure I'm redoing my pantry this year. We're probably going to redo the laundry room. This house is brand new. It's like 7 months old, 8 months old now. But with any house, there's always something that you're going to want to do, always something that you're going to want to change. So those will get recorded. Those will get posted up here. So yeah, let me know down in the comments if you want a certain type of project. And if it's something that's in my wheelhouse, I'll get it done and I'll try to get it recorded and I'll try to get it posted here. So with all that being said, I look forward to this year. I look forward to sharing some projects with you. You guys just go out there, continue to be awesome, and we'll see you guys later.